Hi Discoverers, Alyssa from the Discovery Science and Technology Centre here. This school holidays is all about blossom and bloom. We are going to be celebrating some science outside this spring, having a look at colour and light through a few simple experiments you can do outdoors. Now, we're going to do a simple experiment today with colour and flowers. But wait a second, my flowers aren't very colourful just yet. Well, we're going to see if we can fix that. For this experiment, you need some flowers, preferably white, but you could experiment with some different colours and see what happens. We need some water in cups that we can add food colouring to, and something that you can put your flowers in. Now, I've got my test tubes here, but you could actually place your flowers directly into their cups. And of course, our colour, our food colouring today. So, let's have it go. Once you've got your flowers, your cups, your water and your food colouring, we can start to add some colour. Now I'm going to add 2 drops of colour to each of these containers. You might decide to add more colour or less colour. Have a look at how well it mixes in and see how bright you want it. Or I definitely need more than 2. Let's add our water into our containers. Now, if you're doing yours in your cup, you can just leave them right there. I'm going to have mine in my test tubes, so they stand nice and upright for me. Now remember, you can add as much or as little food colouring as you like. And we're going to see how we make our flowers colourful. Now, I've got an extra test tube here. I thought maybe I'd try mixing 2 colours together and see what happens. Does anyone know what colour we get when we add red and blue? Let's have a look. We got purple. Ooh, it's taking a little while to mix. Let's see. Now we're going to place our flowers into a coloured water. Now, like I said, you can try lots of different flowers with this. I've decided to go with white flowers. You could go with carnations or daisies or roses. I just found some flowers in my garden. Now, this isn't an instantaneous experiment. It takes time. I'm going to set up a camera and we're going to see if we can make our flowers colourful over time. Well, how did you go? How long did it take for your flowers to start to show some colour? It can take a really long time. You've got to have a lot of patience. But what was happening? Well, we all know that we have to water our garden. If you have any pot plants in the house, or if you've ever had to go outside with the watering can, you know that they need water. And the water travels up from the roots at the bottom of our plant, through the plant, and then it makes it up to its leaves and petals. Where does it go then? Well, there is a process called evaporation, where the water comes out on the leaves, all the petals, and the wind and the sun sucks it up into the atmosphere. Now, how does it get from the roots all the way up to the petals or the leaves? Well, inside a flower are tiny little tubes called xylem, and the water gets pulled up through the tube by a force called capillary action. Now, that's a pretty fancy word. What we're talking about there is the stickiness of the water. The water wants to stick to each other, so when one bit of water gets pulled up, another bit gets pulled with it. And also some evaporation. Like we said before, the sun, the wind shining on our plants, pulling the water out, means that the water underneath gets pulled up through these xylem, these little tubes that are inside our plants. Our capillary works because it is such a tiny little tube. It helps pull the water up through the plant. And that is what's happened with our flowers. That action has pulled the water up through the plant from down in the bottom of our cups so that it gets pulled into the petals and the leaves, and we start to see that colour. I'd love to see how your plants turn out. You can always try this experiment with different sorts of flowers, different colours, and see if yours look the same. I've even seen some really cool experiments where they cut the stem of the flower in half and put half in one colour, food colouring, and the other half in another colour of food colouring, and see how it affects the colours in our flowers. Maybe you'd want to give that one a go too. Thanks for joining us for this Blossom and Bloom School Holidays.